Okay, my Syntopic reading was on the work that I do, which is basically in the areas of behaviors and values. I had 5 books that I thought I needed more information of, and my purpose was, what do I need to get still? What do I not know yet about DISC and values? And in my mind, I'm thinking about applying it to my business and to my clients. So I'm going around, I'm doing it, it's going pretty quick, and each book I'm like, I know this, I know this, I know this. So I started getting a little bored, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what do I really need to be applying this to? I said, I need to define my purpose. And what pops into my head is a personal relationship. And then I go, duh, here I am supposedly the expert on this, but I'm not even applying it in my own life. So I defined that purpose, and all of a sudden when I went through again and I was intuitively doing it, what do I need to do? I was going exactly to the page I needed to read about this interpersonal relationship that I'm struggling with. So soon, all of a sudden, that became the theme, and then I really concluded with where I'm at on the different models, which of course I already knew, where he is on the model, which I already knew, but I never thought that's what I needed to do with this Syntopic reading. So it came alive for me that was my whole purpose. And it wasn't about what I thought it was.
First of all, this is the last thing I like to do is stand in front of people. I like small groups. Okay, all right. That's why I need my paper here for my security blanket, I think. Okay. I chose 5 books, and for me as a coach and trainer, I asked the question, what do I need to build a better warrior? And it was quite interesting. They came from a lot of different directions at first, changing destructive thoughts, follow-up procedures, the brain is like a muscle. Does that relate? And then one thing came to mind after I saw a word. It just popped over to something that I put in something that we had done earlier, that where we sat and we just read our, talked and talked and talked and talked, and the other person was drawing. Well, one of those pictures popped into my mind, and it was one of birds flying around in circles, actually not flying but falling, and they're going around in circles, and then pretty soon the wings are out and they're free. And it was kind of interesting because that, together with the brain being like a muscle, when I opened the book it said meaningful inspiration. It's kind of interesting. Another book said changing destructive thoughts and follow-up procedures. Well, that came together as lift mental fog. And when I put all of these things together, they came out to be, and I did everything totally random. In fact, Vic over there, I just picked the dictionary up and I opened it up, and it said content. And so this is how it came out. I'm to use, in order to build a better warrior, I'm to use my intuition and my manifestation to balance it all. I'm supposed to use my conscious direction and focus and my balance to manifest. I'm supposed to use the conscious direction of focus and the design of training and mindset to peg, which it said, like in a violin, it's tighten or loosen. So that kind of made sense. And then the design and training and mindset in combination with the book that had meaningful inspiration came out to be, well, that was the one, Heart's Content. And then the one that came out, meaningful inspiration and lifting the fog, was to avoid extremes to be moderate, and to use wisdom and integrity. So that was very strange. I want to say one more thing too. That bit about the birds, that was kind of fluky, because that brought me back. That kept bringing me back, and things have been going on kind of strange over the last couple of weeks. And can I do this? Can I say this? I had a competitor in Salt Lake City a week ago, and I was there, and no, probably not. Oh, okay. I actually have two elite athletes, one of which is in a position to 50-50 position to be the only representative to the Olympics in trampoline. So, at any rate, we're trying to plow through this. This girl is very complicated. I've had her since she was 7 years old. She's 24 years old now, and she is an aerospace engineer with NASA. And I'm coaching her. Go figure. At any rate, she's so cerebral, and I was standing there watching her do her routine, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. The first three skills that she did were just like, where'd that come from? And then the fourth skill was like, what was that? And she only did 4 skills. And I'm like, I don't understand this. What is the deal? And the thing that pulled me back to this instance was Paul this morning talking about embrace your power. I told that girl, among other things, to do certain exercises and conditioning. I told her right then and there, to embrace her power. So that was just a real fluke to me to have you do that. And then, of course, all this coming together, everything came together for me. My son called this afternoon, and he was having some problems. And I said, Nathan, you got to embrace your power. He says, Mom, I don't have any power. I said, yeah, you do. You've got it inside. Yeah, I know. I said, you just have to be creative. Yeah, I know, but I don't know how to be creative. So we will have some discussions here. But in bringing us all back to this, I think that was the reason that I chose this. Between those two athletes, what do I need to build a better warrior? I think most of it's already here, but I just have to acknowledge it, I guess.
I'm sort of formulating my thoughts, and it's all coming at me in different directions, and I think that my insight that's coming into me is this sense that the universe, or whatever it is just trying to get me to see my own dream and to wake me up, as it were. I once saw an enlightened guy, and he said, you see that exit sign over there? All it's doing is begging you to wake up and see the reality that you are, the truth of what you really are. So when I was looking at my purpose, it was just amazing. It was obvious that if I just opened the book at a random page, the answer was there. It was just there. And it's just this constant turning the pages. And the only time it didn't work was when I didn't trust, when I was in this limited belief about what this world is. And it reminds me of, there's a particular photo reading trainer in England, and he was teaching somebody photo reading who was actually Saudi Arabian or something, and he was with another trainer who's not a photo reading trainer. And the Saudi Arabian just couldn't understand what the hell was going on. So he was photo reading this book, or trying to, and he said, I'm trying to ask a question, and the photo reading trainer opened the book at random in Saudi Arabian and pointed at a sentence on the page and showed it to the guy, and that was the answer to the guy's question. Of course, the photo reading trainer, did not understand the language, and that was the answer to the question. And does that make sense? And to think that the world is manifest is like this is astonishing. And the other trainer there said, don't you ever do that again, because it freaked him out. So, can you imagine? So it's like the world is, wherever I look, the answers to it, as all I have to do is pose a question and the answer comes flooding in. The answers are everywhere. And that's why I've been thinking recently about relooking again at the Celestine prophecy, where it's, when I'm in a particular state, I can go into a restaurant and I meet somebody and they have the answer for me. It's all the same thing. We're all connected. I pose a question, the answer appears, and it's everywhere. And I even remember walking around a lake at home, and I think I walked past a squashed bottle, and it had some word on the front of it, and it was something like wake up or something like that. And it's like, wow, the answers are everywhere just to get me to realize my vision and to live life to the full. So I hope that makes sense. I'm still sort of reeling from it and trying to pull it all together, but it's been very profound doing that syntopic reading.
I love syntopic read. I think it is the apex of the course. In my class, I spend most of the morning of the third day and most of the afternoon, and to great advantage, I believe, because it's good for a project, for developing a project. It's good for developing a speech. I had one professor who was in a publish or perish situation. His subject was Euripides, and he was about to lose his job at the University of Maryland because he hadn't published. And in the class, he came up with the table of contents for his book. And the thesis statement was how Euripides has ideas that are germane to our lives today. It was, and he wasn't fired. He maintained his job and published his book. I love it. I love syntopic read because I find that it has a very broad reach, that you could walk to any bookshelf and choose a book, and to another bookshelf and choose another book, and another, and you could put them down and they would find their way to each other. Nature has a way of conjoining, and that's it's integral. It is congruent. And our minds, I believe, not only want to make patterns, but they want to put things together. They want to build concepts. So this offers an opportunity for that if we are artists enough to do it. And the other thing that I love is that what rises out of the process is creativity. It is, what you do is unique. No one else has ever put it together exactly the way that you will on the page. And if you want to do any kind of project and put your own stamp on it, it is when you come up to a conclusion, what do I recommend? Out of reading all of these texts, then what? I agree with this and this and this source, but in the end, I would do it such and such a way. And at that moment, you are the artist. You have lifted above those texts that you used as handholds, and you put your foot in and you said, this is what I see. And then again, you put your foot in. From here the view is this. And suddenly you have this marvelous creation under your hands, under your pen. And the last thing is that this is an idea that just came to me at the table, and that is, if you do each book as a single mind map and you keep a notebook, think that if you wanted to do a project, that you could take out the ones that match your project and your purpose, and you could put them around in a circle. And when you finish that, put the whole thing back into the book and create another project and use some of the same and some different. But your initial love of a particular work is not lost with one project, but it is exponential in your life.
So I defined that purpose, and all of a sudden when I went through again and I was intuitively doing it, what do I need to do? I was going exactly to the page I needed to read about this interpersonal relationship that I'm struggling with. So soon, all of a sudden, that became the theme, and then I really concluded with where I'm at on the different models, which of course I already knew, where he is on the model, which okay, my syntopic reading was on the work that I do, which is basically in the areas of behaviors and values. I had 5 books that I thought I needed more information of, and my purpose was, what do I need to get still? What do I not know yet about disc and values? And in my mind, I'm thinking about which I already knew, but I never thought that's what I needed to do with this syntopic reading. So it came alive for me that that was my whole purpose, and it wasn't about what I thought it was. About applying it to my business and to my clients. So I'm going around, I'm doing it, it's going pretty quick, and each book I'm like, I know this, I know this, I know this. So I started getting a little bored, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what do I really need to be applying this to? I said, I need to define my purpose. And what pops into my head is a personal relationship. And then I go, duh, here I am supposedly the expert on this, but I'm not even applying it in my own life.
First of all, this is the last thing I like to do is stand in front of people. I like small groups. Okay, all right. That's why I need my paper here for my security blanket, I think. Okay, I chose 5 books, and for me as a coach and trainer,